One.
Crack out a nice bottle of wine.
A nice bottle of wine. It depends on what you think is a nice bottle of wine. Are you more of a red or a white?
I like red.
Are you more of a dry or a sweet?
I like Cote de Rhone. It sounds really poncy, but it's just a wine from a specific region in France.
Oh, so it's a French wine.
And it's very nice. Yeah.
I mean, I'd try it. I usually prefer Italian wine over French wine if we're going Europe, but I'm nothing against France. Well, many, but you know what
I'm saying. You can't say that to a Brit.
He backtracks so much. Well, no, can't say that.
Then I was like, well, you can, but for different reasons, all right, cool. We call them freedom fries for a reason. We needed our French friends to join us to find them WMDs. The only reason why we didn't find them WMDs in Afghanistan and Iraq was because we didn't have our French friends to help us figure it out. We had to go fishing. We had to go fishing for WMDs, but we didn't find them. The French, they would have found them. French can find a croissant crumb beneath a dresser. That's my best.
Clip it.
What the hell's this?
Hey, that wasn't bad, man.
Usually I have something witty to say after the thing. I've got nothing.
Just dumbfounded. Yeah. Just like, oh, that's America. The reason why we didn't find WMD was because of the French. That sounds like an American response. All right. So let's Neil. Was the whole thing, and you're like, what's his name? Carrick, come! And all the other soldiers around are just like, oh. And Carrick takes the opportunity to.
It's like a dragon
animal handling.
It's like a dragon shout. Yeah, you just shout, "Come!" and that's it. Everyone's like, ah.
Oh, it reminds me of that movie Orgasmo, which if you've never seen it, don't. But it's good, but don't. Anyways, so yeah, so the you guys you call to Carrick and Carrick comes rushing over, but then there's that fun scenario where roll a perception check. Fun scenario of roll a perception check.
I actually think this is my favorite scenario. You know why? You know why? Because I got no points in it.
Ooh.
Statistically above average.
It's okay because you were expecting this, so 10 is perfectly fine. So you it's just I know you have a trash rolls, which is why I was having you roll. So you my apologies. So you notice that when Carrick's coming, obviously the guards that were near to Carrick immediately start chasing after it. But roll a sense motive. As you're poking your head around the darkness to see. You see them chasing after
Carrick. A lot of fives.
Did you want to try to luck it just to see if you can figure out what's going on?
Why are you doing this to me? I'm usually. How many lucks do we have? What are we on?
You know what I forgot to describe earlier? Remember that fog that was there yesterday? It's still there. And because that fog is still there, that would have added to your whole escape thing, just as a reminder. So,
I already knew. That's why I clicked it.
Do it while he's talking, so he can't laugh at me.
If you wait and you pause the GIF at the right image, I rolled a 20.
It's upside down.
That counts. What the hell, dude? We're literally playing with two Australians. You're like, oh, upside down dice don't count.
My apologies. I didn't mean to insult my Aussie and New Zealand friends.
New Zealand friends.
All right. Anyways, you can't say Kiwi. If you say Kiwi, knives come out, and gleefully. It's weird. So, anyways, sir, you call to it, and you can see that the guards are chasing after Carrick. What do you do to handle the whole Carrick's coming at you? but this guard's chasing after him scenario.
I mean,
Obviously,
he's a
Carrick
lot
is outpacing them. Yeah, obviously.
He's a lot faster than they are.
But then you need to mount him.
That's fine. I can
I
do a
know.
fast mount.
Okay, go ahead and roll. I know, Jake. And then he's going to give the command again.
Yep.
You can't do a
Rolled
fast mount.
4.
You can't do a fast mount.
I don't believe you.
It's a DC 20. Unless there's a rule that I don't know of, or unless you have bonuses with Carrick specifically that I'm not familiar with. Feel free to double check. It's a DC 20. It's a fast mount.
Sorry, I was giggling.
Is there anything you're missing?
Carrick's got. Thank you. Carrick's got improved overrun. Trace just. No, I don't think so. I'll just mount him normally, I guess.
It's like an episode out of Family Guy. You look like, you got hit by a car as Carrick comes running by. Get them video game.
Oh, Neil.
effects.
I know how you can. I know how you can save this, right? Remember what we were talking about before? Now Carrick comes like galloping along, and then all of a sudden his movement slows. You have spider climb on. You could be up high, and then all of a sudden Carrick starts to rise, and then you just step out.
It would be cool, but I kind of want to hold my
Oh no, because then he doesn't duck his head lower enough. It was like a ting, and you're like.
I want to hold my trump card.
And then you release from the
Yeah,
wall that you
yeah.
stepped out from, and you hit the ground behind him.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll just mount.
Okay, so so you try to fast mount and it fails. So it's one of those things you try to grab on as he gallops by, but you don't, and so he just continues to gallop by as you grab on, and now it's like one of those shit as you look back and they're now coming up behind you, and you look forward and there's the mount ahead of you, and you start chasing after the horse to try to get onto it, and you hear, hey you stop, hey stop. And you're again in your armor trying to run to catch up. Now, unfortunately, they're lighter armor than you are, and they're not very far behind. So this is going to be effective like a chase scene. So it's going to be a acrobatics checks. That's what you're going to roll is acrobatics check.
Why would I do that?
Because you have to outpace them.
But why would I not just roll another animal handling and whistle Carrot to me?
Carrick can definitely come back to you, but now it's facing the wrong direction. So unless you want to then charge through them, going back the other direction.
I mean, they're not going to surround him in that time.
It's up to you.
He can literally just, I'll just whistle for him.
Sure. So you want him to loop around and come back this way. So now, because Carrick can't turn on a dime, right? He has to then turn around again afterwards.
Horses can turn on a dime, actually. He just needs to go slow enough to rear and do a full 360.
Sure. But nonetheless.
And then a 180 afterwards once he's flaunted his skills.
And when he's done doing his pirouette and his trebuchet.
It's true.
Just throwing French words out there. His croissant.
I mean, if you're really desperate for me to roll an acrobatics, I can.
No.
If
Acrobatics makes you run up to the horse. The handle animal makes the horse come to you, but then you just have to plow through the people on the other side. Which I'm fine with either way. I genuinely don't care either way. You do which way you'd like. It's your character.
All right. If you're going to be upset about it, it's
I
fine.
literally said that we want to.
I mean, you say that, but I said I just want to whistle for him, and then we had a whole 2 minutes of you being like,
Oh, Jesus.
I guess they failed. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It's pretty bad, but still technically beat you. So anyways, they close the gap between you and them. So as you're running up to Carrick, they're coming right behind you. So they're coming up right behind you. So as you're going to mount Carrick, do you try to fast mount again, or are you going to try to do a regular mount?
What do I do? That's the question. Because it'd be really unfortunate if I failed this one.
What I can say is this. One person already caught up to you. But the slower you move, others will catch up as well when you're talking about timing. So if you fast mount successfully, then I'll get one attack of opportunity against you. If you don't fast mount successfully, I will get multiple attacks of opportunity against you. That's the consequences for success and failure.
I don't care about attacks of opportunity. I'll just normal mount.
Okay. So since they're doing these attacks of opportunity against you, what they're going to do is try to grapple you to pull you off of the horse rather than trying to actually attack at you in your armor or whatever. They don't have weapons drawn. They try to grab you to pull you off of the horse as you're clambering up. You don't have a weapon drawn yourself, so there's no attack of opportunity counter from you to them. So I'm just going to roll my CMB. Give me 1 second. So it's actually the same modifier. So I get 3 total. So I have 3 attempts, which will probably all fail against your CMD. That definitely fails. That definitely fails. That also definitely fails. So as all 3 people try to, like, the first one grabs at, like, your armor, you're able to, like, pull away and get up. The second one literally tries to grab at, like, your hip or whatever, and you're able to kind of, you know, kick them back to stop them from being able to pull back off of you. I imagine you're not trying to break this person's ribs, but, you know, get them off of you. And then the third person, they try to grab at you as well, and they actually get, like, their arm hooked around your leg in a way that would be very uncomfortable. Unfortunately, you, like, rear the horse the other way as you've just climbed up on top of it. And it kind of pulls him off of his own footing, so he ends up, you know, getting his arm tangled up, and he struggles to get it out just so he can face plant on the ground rather than have his arm ripped off as he's pulled off by you as you pull away. And then I imagine at this point in time, you're going to Gah! And, like, get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Cool. So you go to do that. Roll a perception check as you ride into the fog. Beautiful. You hear somebody yell out, "Fuck! Tristan's gonna be pissed!"
Oh. Aww. I'm very glad that I didn't end up hurting him.
Sense motive earlier would have suggested that they're chasing after the horse to collect it as opposed to, you know, they angrily attack or something like that, right? Like it was one of those, like, oh, no. So, anyways, you go riding off, having stolen your own horse from people who were just looking after it for you, and are able to get away. So you are now going to go, you know where the field commander was stationed. You already told us beforehand. They're fighting a battle off to the northwest of where you guys happen to be. You're aware of that. So now it's just a matter of getting outside of the city so you can go and properly look after that. Now, you know that the city usually has its gates open all day long, and they close them at night just as a security measure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're actually locked in or out of the city necessarily. You just have to prove who you are, or at least be noted or what have you to get in and out. And you know, the only time that it was locked otherwise was when there was that scenario where you guys literally chased in and, you know, the whole thing that happened with the Black Knights. So you're making your way across the city to go out either the north or the west gates. Now, I do want to point out, it was the west gate earlier that you, because remember, you guys came in from the south, and you on your horse rode your mount around to the west gate. So there is a chance that you know some of the guards there for when you had chased in the person that inevitably got captured or what have you there, right? So, because you, correct me if I'm wrong, you were the one that witnessed that, yes?
I think so. I witnessed them pull a guy down, right?
Yeah. Because you chased after them on your horse, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure we're on the same scenario. So that being said, you would head most likely to the west gate. It's one of the 2 best options, and you know the people on the west gate, whereas the north gate was, I think, the only gate that didn't have any of your characters actually visit. It was just reported from an NPC. So I imagine Trish would make his way to the west gate, if I'm speaking on your behalf well.
Yep, that sounds reasonable.
Yep. And
it's also not like it's not like actually taking me away from the route that I want to take.
Yeah, exactly. So you'd make your way over to that direction, and again, there's still a thick fog that's out everywhere. And so when you finally go walking up to the gate, you can kind of see the glimmer of light, not from obviously it's now early dawn, not pre-dawn anymore. It's like very early dawn. Like this, like technically dawn is when sunrise is technically when the sun can be seen. I think sunrise is when the bottom of the sun just crosses over the horizon, as opposed to when the top of it crests over the horizon. It's one of those annoying fun scenarios. I forget how it goes because I always have to time it when I'm with my family. So this is like right before the sun actually starts to be seen on the horizon, but the sky around you is clearly significantly lighter, right? That being said, though, there's still fog, so there's still lanterns that are being lit by the gate. So you can see that glow as you're approaching. When finally you make your way to the rest of the way to the approach, there's the gates there. There's a couple of guards on this side. Usually, as we discussed forever ago, there are 2 guards that are situated at the gate. At any point in time. Right now, there are 4 guards there, which profession soldier check.
Carrots page. Whoops.
You easily know means they're about to do a change of the guard and the opening of the gates, right? Like if you just hung back for less than an hour, they'll open on their own. So you kind of seeing that, and they obviously would notice you because you're on a horse. They would notice you riding up, even if they can't make out fine detail because of the fog. You could see the gate is closed again without fine detail, and you can see the 4 guards around in the lanterns. Would you approach? Would you hang back? Would you ride away? What would you do?
Just a ride up.
Sure. So you ride up. One of the guards seeing you there, they're in the middle of a conversation, but they kind of like nod the rest of the conversation. They break away from the others to walk up to you lazily, not in any aggressive way. Hey there.
Tristan the champion. I'm on business for Bisen Yolanda. Could you open the gate for me, please?
He nods and says, yep, that can be done. And he'll go over to get like the weaker latch, because obviously you have like the big wooden block that they use, but that's obviously not up. It's just like the sliding latch that they'd use for a simple locking measure, not against like a attack or whatever. So anyways, they go, as they're going over there, you actually hear somebody say, "Did I hear Tristan?"
Yes, you did.
One of the guards walks up and goes, "You're the one from the other morning."
Nice to see you again.
Nods. Right fuckery happened in the city after that, huh?
Absolute shitstorm. Dreadful business, really.
So many dead people.
You heard the news?
A couple beats pass. They say, "Which one?"
About Raylor.
He there's like a second or so passes, and then they say, "It's true then," because like I heard rumors.
True, unfortunately. He was good, that commander of yours. He weeded out the roots, even as he paid the price.
He nods. It's sad, saddens me. Tesh, sidebar here. What was the rumor that Pan had started earlier?
I'm trying to remember. I believe it was the. Actually, I do know who it was. It was the Jihan warriors were behind.
Yeah, that's right.
His death.
Yeah,
that was the
that's
rumor
right, that's
that.
right. So he goes. Rumor is it wasn't even the Black Knights. It was the Jihan warriors. That true?
Shit, really?
That's what the has been going about the, we're just soldiers. He says, kind of chuckling because both of you guys are just
Yeah. Just to say, I don't know, but well, new dawn, new day. We'll get through it.
Nods. They're opening up the gate like right now as he speaks. He goes, "Hey, be safe out there. You look like you're ready for war, but looks like war's coming to us. So, you sure you want to go out alone?"
I appreciate the offer, but we need people, good people, looking after the gates to the city. You give him a nod.
Yeah, same. And he's like, well, again, may Lady Aravel, watch after you. And the gate's fully open, so you can ride ahead.
Just will head out.
All right. You're able to make your way out of the gate and start heading towards where you expect. I mean, you're not going to go far. Let's be honest. You're not like, I know where they're coming from. You're like, hanging, close enough to the city that you could see. I mean, again, there's a fog, but it's close enough that if you hear, horse like hooves or what have you, you can kind of intercept.
The city is hopefully worse fog-wise than outside, though, because although it's colder outside, at least there's wind.
Yes, exactly. All of that. Yep. Just like in a real forest or town or what have you, right? So if you're actually inside of a forest, it seems to linger longer because the sun can't disperse it as easily and the wind can't blow it away as easily. So it is lighter out there, but there is still a fog because this is a natural fog, at least as far as you know it. It's a legit natural fog. It's not like this is a spell that has befallen the city. Pan earlier literally cast Detect Magic, and then while you were sleeping, you don't know this, but cast Greater Detect Magic. She likely would have known. That being said, continuing, that's right, Norway. I forgot. Fogs are tree farts. I forgot about that. That's right. Whoops. So anyways, roll me a perception check while you're out there.
Oh yes, I am very good at that.
Good job, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Again, you intelligently positioned yourself in such a way as to not fail this. So the perception check wasn't a matter of success versus failure. You're going to notice them. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But it does stage how successful you are. You notice them, but it's one of those times where you're just kind of like sitting perched up on your horse. I'm sure you got down and got back on many times. One of the times you're sitting perched up on your horse, and you're just like lazily sitting there looking out, watching. One point in time, you just do the whole turn around and look behind you again, because it's been a hot minute. When you look behind you, like, fuck. As you see, there's a few horses who they probably came from around the bend or what have you, and then they're already at the gate behind you. Again, the gate's not particularly far away. You could easily gallop over to it while they're still passing in, but it's like, shit, they went right past me. They're at the gate.
Oh, just would do that then.
Yep. Turn around and try to catch up as quickly as you can, slowing down. It's not full gallop into them. So anyways, by the time you get there, you're literally passing into the gates on the other side, as they've already gone through the gate and are starting to make their way on that first street, right? So you come in, no guards stop you or anything like that, but one of the auxiliary guards to the half dozen or so horses that are there, noticing you coming up, they break off and stay at the gate itself as the others 5 horses are going in. So they stay at the gate itself, and they're literally standing right in front of you, and you can clearly tell that they're this particular person happens to be an Excellent. So as you go a warden, my apologies. As you come riding up, there's a warden there that has their horse, and standing looking towards you. And I imagine you slow down. It's not gallop into the city, right? Yeah. But as you slow down, they then kind of like turn their horse sidelong, so they're clearly blocking. Now you and Kara could easily make your way around them or through them, maybe not over them, but you see them there.
Over them?
Maybe not. This isn't 5e. You don't have fly mechanics enabled. So
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'd like to go over them.
So I bet, do you slow down to address this person?
I'd like to go over them, please.
You want to try
that?
It's a Carrick acrobatics check.
So Carrot can actually get a fly speed.
It's a Carrick acrobatics check.
No, Carrot
he's
can
not
get
lying.
a fly speed.
Oh my god!
It's not a bit.
Oh my god!
So he would gain a flight speed of 5 foot. So what he would do is he would jump and then
It's like the
jump
dog
again.
in Peter Pan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's like slow and land.
That's funny.
And while he's flying, a small nimbus of light surrounds him because he's literally a god horse.
Wait, do you literally do this?
I mean, I feel like it would be a good way to get the FC's attention, right?
Yeah, if you absolutely clear, like so you have to make a jump check to see how high Carrot can jump on his own before
How do
you
I do
kick in the
jump
flight
check?
mechanic. So jumping is acrobatics, but there's modifiers to this, right? So Carrot's speed is what?
So his speed is 50.
Okay.
His run is 200. His
50 is what matters because it's 40
Okay.
because it's 20 over 30, you get a +4 to the jump check. So
okay, so there's a +4.
Yep, and then a running jump is obviously what you're doing here. I don't think size matters. Remember that size doesn't matter. So you get a plus. Sorry, +4.
Size doesn't matter. It's the length of your run.
So it's not a +4. It's a +8 total because of speed that you get.
+8. So.
Yep, on top of whatever his normal modifier is, and then you can go ahead and bloop.
Right. I rolled a 1.
Ouch.
Glorious.
So when you're doing
Still
a
14, but like.
when you're doing a high jump, high jump is you roll 1/4, so you only jump 3 feet up. So you jump, you divide that, so it's 3.5 feet up is what you jumped. So, that's not enough to clear a horse. So
I need to climb a little bit more.
So you jump, and then you're like, activate fly speed, and you get the Nimbus, which lifts the 3.5 to 8.5. But 8.5, like barely, like now you might actually hit into the guy sitting on the horse because 8.5 is enough to properly clear. It's like,
So let's be clear. This is the real reason that Superman flies in the way he does.
Yes, yeah. So his legs don't.
For extra clearance. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. So anyways, I want to. Do you want to plow through that guy?
No, I don't want to touch him at all.
Okay. So they have to try to dodge out of the way. I'm gonna have them make an acrobatics check, but they're wearing armor similar to you, so they're rolling.
All they've got to do is duck. It's fine.
Okay, they rolled fine. I was
I was a bit worried.
So it's one of those fun scenarios. They see you come and and they literally like let go of the reins and like throw themselves backwards. So they're like awkwardly backwards. And then have you ever been like in a non-horizontal position and then tried to do a non-horizontal sit-up where you're bent well beyond like, just right. And then you try to do the sit-up. On top of that, he's wearing armor. So it's like, as he's trying to straight.
Right. No, he's totally right. I should have done a barrel roll.
He's not that acrobatic as previously discussed.
Because a horse sideways is more clearance.
Yeah, he's not that acrobatic as previous. Neither him nor Carrick is. That's right. Don't you know? You never come at them like this. It's America. You go that way. Right? Anyways, so come on, cockeyed. So you jump and they throw themselves backwards, putting them into like this very uncomfortable and awkward positions to try to do a sit-up out of as they're straining their lower back into ab muscles to even do so. But this is a fly check. That's funny. Either way, so you go through there and you do land on the other side, and the person wants to call out, but at the same time, like, why would they can't call because like as like all of their core is flexed trying to just get their bodies back into an upright position. And then the guards that are here know who you are. They literally just saw a conversation. They that person probably explains to them after you left who you were and what you did in the city beforehand. So they're just like, oh, that person's coming back. It must be important. So they're not calling after you because it must be important. And so you go galloping past, you land on the other side and go galloping after but needless to say, as that person's doing trying to get their attention, and the loud gallop as your hooves hit the ground and the rear guards would then kind of look back, and they haphazardly turn themselves around and try to like prepare for comp. You could imagine if like initiative was rolled, they would have had a penalty, right? And so you come riding up, but do you say or do anything on your approach?
I need to speak to the FC.
Diplomacy check as you do that. He's like, actually, it was a command. Intimidate, Scott. Thanks.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty solid, yeah. So you call that out, and then I imagine slowing down Carrick. Because of like the very complicated thing that you just did, and very haphazardly, like you didn't do this so gracefully, roll me a ride check to properly slow Carrick down in time, so you don't make things any worse. Beautiful. You slow down, no issues. You're able to, actually, I don't even know if you could have failed. What do you have, a plus what? 13? You had to roll a 2. Okay. So you succeed. And you are able to slow Carrick down. You're like, I need to speak to the FC. And then you kind of slow down and come to a stop and look at them. Either give a look or suggest it's urgent. And so the guards are like, field commander. And then with that, you'd see like her horse turning around. Now, unlike the two ladies that you were dealing with beforehand, the field commander isn't as old as the two of them. Or at least she doesn't look that way because she's Perrin, right? She has Perrin features, like very obviously Perrin features, but it doesn't suggest, she still looks youthful, like Perrin tend to for decades and decades. So she turns around to address you, and she gives you like a look down and up again and says, soldier.
Tristan Diam, champion from Duin.
It's a long way from home.
Yes, it is. I was sent by Bisen Yolanda to apprise you of the situation, if I may.
All the way from Duin. Is this in relation to the report that I got from Gallon? To Excellence Gallon.
I understand there have been some developments. I also understand that your Centurion of Battle is, if you would forgive me for speaking frankly, perhaps attempting to color the situation.
That's quite the accusation. There is, she says, that's quite the accusation against, hold on, what's her name? One second.
Winbury.
Winvery.
Yeah, Winvery. So that's quite the accusation against Winvery, and also an understatement of what has transpired here, considering the death of the leadership. Nonetheless, you are not the kind of person I would expect to hear a report from. Where's your commander?
Held, not able to leave the fortified area that the Centurion of Battle has set up.
A wall.
Centurion of
That
Warrior.
was it. Thank you.
Yeah. So she says, an accusation, now claiming that she is illegitimately holding people prisoner.
There's been no direct imprisonment. However, both my commander, the BT, and one of your officers, the BSEN, have been not allowed to leave.
Ride with me. Let's talk.
Tris would nod.
She turns her horse around as you come to ride alongside. The other guard that was kind of like thrown backwards has resituated himself and ridden up. He does not look too happy as he's there with you. He gives you like a sharp look. It's one of those things like, this will be addressed later. Like one of those fun scenarios. But she's, looking ahead with you, and you start riding alongside her. They don't move at like a leisurely pace, but it's not like they're galloping through the city either, right? Like you're in a city, you move in a group of 7 people. You don't move too swiftly. That could cause all sorts of, mayhem. So you are riding alongside her, and she says, it seems as though, she says, if I'm able to put 2 and 2 together, you've also broken yourself free of your illegitimate bonds to come and report this information to me.
That is correct. However, the intent is not to color the situation, but to attempt to present you with something clear.
It's funny, she says, I've been dealing with this fog on the field of battle for nearly a week now. You think I can't handle the fogs that arise in the cities as well?
I think that your BC was a good man and a good leader, and even he fell afoul of traitors.
She'll actually concede and say, point taken. Let me hear the rest of them then.
So far, we haven't been able to ascertain everything about the situation, but the BT contacted the Arcane Congress and has got a witnessed report from the BC himself. I understand that his death and the death of the traitor that we know of was perpetrated by the Kingsguard. That's correct, isn't it?
Yes.
It was Kingsguard. Yeah.
You also have a stack of papers of evidence.
I've also been told that at least there was brewing a alliance between the Harbour Masters, the Kingsguard, and the Black Knights. We destroyed most of the leadership of the Black Knights, my compatriots and I from Dween. As far as we're aware, we missed one.
She holds her hand out for the various papers to this specific subject.
I was given these papers. I've not had much time to sort through them. I think these are the pertinent ones. I'm not much of a scholar myself. The BT usually deals with the paperwork.
She nods and says, it was also suggested in the notification from Gallon that this... she says from the Excellent that there was an attempt to burn the paperwork. I imagine that's the reasoning for this condition.
The barracks is gone. This is what Gallon could rescue.
We are detouring by the barracks on our way over to see the Centurion of War. Continue.
I understand that the soldiers defending the barracks were pulled back to the fortified position that the Centurion of War had identified. I'm in two minds about this. On one, it is convenient that someone would attempt to destroy all the evidence. On the other hand, it's not an unsound strategic move if you think that there's going to be rioting.
She nods and says, long has the Centurion of War been appreciated for her defensive mind for her defensive tactics when it comes to handling Malisal Harbor. She tends to secure more than she attacks. Likely this is just a normal strategy for her. Continue.
It's possible that there's more traitors. We're not certain at this time. It's difficult to know who to trust.
She will then, as you say that, turn her head to look at you, and you can see there's like, indeed, kind of look in her eyes as she gives you, that look, but doesn't say anything.
What else do I have to say? I'm not sure I necessarily have anything other than like the remaining papers.
The papers of contact with Raylor. The show that we were tasked with coming over to with.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Raylor.
Here are some papers. I believe they're from the Dween here and Raylor. Detailing the nature of our mission. Your Centurion of War has seen fit to lay the accusation that some of this may have been orchestrated by us. I hope that this would prove that we're here to help.
Indeed, this is actually... She's looking through it, and she's silent for about a minute or so, and she says, indeed, this looks as though the report that he was preparing to send to me specifically. And then kind of like as she finishes reading through what she can, like at one point in time, she leans over and gestures at a word, and it's like, what's that say? And you kind of like help her through it, because obviously you were in that room half paying attention the whole time as you were failing your own checks. And she'll nod, go back to reading for another minute or so, and she says... This is quite the report that you're delivering to me, soldier. Is there anything else?
I believe that this city can't afford to lose any more of its leadership. And I understand that you may have little reason to trust me, but if you would permit me, I would join your bodyguard until such a time as we can ascertain that the city is safe once again.
That's entirely unnecessary. Besides, I think you've agitated one of them. We don't need you stirring the pot any further.
With respect, ma'am, they should all be agitated.
She looks at you and says, I understand what you're saying, and there is more than enough agitation, considering everybody thought well of Battle Commander Rylor. He was a good man, a fine leader. There is agitation enough to go around, but we don't need infighting at a point in time where you're already throwing accusations at another commander. Let's allow things to go smoothly from here. This kind of like at this point, you'll be arriving at the C-shaped building that like burns to the ground. Again, the building, like the core structure of it is still mostly intact. Like the shell of it's still mostly intact. You can imagine like the roof is collapsed in or what have you. But the inside of it would have been completely charred. And you can also find like, unfortunately, dead bodies around as like, you know, the people that, you know, Galen needlessly slaughtered.
I shot one and they were warned.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So he's like rioting and looting, not in DC. And then, you know, he starts charging with a shield bashes an Australian reporter. Oh, I'm
sorry. A commander was just murdered and people are raiding a military building. I'm going to warn them to leave and then assume ill intent otherwise if they don't.
I'm teasing. I'm making false equivalents to a real world thing.
I know.
So
I picked up what you were putting down, Scott.
Yeah, I know.
It's good.
You're like, I follow that reporter. She never looked the same afterward. No. So it was actually a cameraman that got smashed anyways. But either way, so you see that the building is otherwise like effectively destroyed, Neil, right? There's still like the bones to it, so it can be rebuilt if need be or what have you. And you can see the bodies of both soldiers and citizens alike around there as it's looked over. And kind of seeing the situation that's there, it's taking a minute or so in silence to take it in, and then walking through the area that's relatively safe over there as well. She then will turn her horse and go to leave and say, let's go visit the COW. And we'll start riding in that direction. When she returns, when you guys are about halfway there, she'll then turn to you, which she hasn't said anything to you in the time since then. She'll turn to you and say, Champion, could you do a favor? She says, Champion. She doesn't say do a favor. She says, Champion, ride ahead. Inform them of who you are, and inform them that I would like to speak to the Battle Centurion.
Yes, ma'am.
What is your commander's name?
Viggo.
So it is not Galen.
Galen is one of the three of us. Excellent Galen, battle tactician Viggo, and myself.
She nods and says, I would like to speak to them as well.
Understood.
Okay, and you can go right ahead. Snap back to reality with the other ones. So you guys, Viggo is sitting there.
Oh no, if we have nothing else to do now, Galen is also He's just happy to do it in the corner. He doesn't need a bed.
He's just shitting in the corner?
What the? The second those words left my mouth, I'm like, Neil's going to say something. Neil's going to say something. Neil's going to say something.
Back there, you guys are there with the Battle Centurion, who will say, it's entirely unnecessary for all of us to remain here, considering that our job is done. We have to put our faith into Viggo. Lady Aravel will likely guide his path and see to it that he's victorious.
Tristan.
What did I say?
Viggo.
Oh, I meant Tristan. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I guessed as much.
Lady Aravel bit, blah, blah, blah.
I assume I had my own room prepared because I assume I wasn't meant to.
You weren't even given a room yet because you just kind of like followed upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in there all night. Just like
Chris
has been walking up and down the outside wall the entire night.
She'll look to you and say, I imagine that the barracks has more than enough room, beds capable of housing you.
He would. Thank you. And what was she said with Aravel? What's the
guide his path? Yeah.
What's the Aravel? May Aravel be with you part thing? Just.
I said.
I assume there's a saying.
I don't remember.
There a
off the top
saying?
of my head right now.
Remember.
Yeah.
He would say whatever the normal one is.
Yeah.
And then salute and then head off to get some rest.
So you go to open the door and she'll clear her throat to get your attention.
Yep. He would turn around.
Please take the battle tactician with you. I don't intend to spend the evening with him.
Yeah. Viggo. No, I wouldn't actually do that. But I would wake Viggo up.
He gives him an epic wedgie while giving him a wet willy. He's like,
We gotta go find somewhere else to sleep.
Is there anything I need to look at?
No. What's done is done. We gotta rely on Tristan now. He's it's a good plan. We'll be okay.
Thank you, Galen. And Viggo will just follow you.
Viking.
And lead him somewhere where we can find a place to lay down.
Yep. So you guys would head down to the barracks. As you are making your way to the barracks, Tesh, one of the guards is going to walk up to you to the point like it's one of those things. They walk up to you and borderline almost bump into you. They would have bumped into you if you didn't just like step back quickly because of your reflexes and whatnot, right? They're gonna bump into you. Do you say anything or?
As in like, sorry, is it they're walking around really fast enough that they didn't notice us?
Not fast enough. They actually weren't moving particularly fast. They just mindless, I guess. They just mindlessly walking and almost bumped into you.
I can do can I do a sense motive on them just quickly?
Yeah.
Because it's rather strange that someone would be that sort of like.
Honestly,
given the situation,
they're literally. They almost bumped into you again. You kind of like step back out of the way, and they stopped, but did like one of those like jarring stops. Like they almost walked into something, so they just kind of like
dead on their feet. Literally, the necromancer is at work.
And you continue to like look ahead, almost like looking at your chest, but not making eye contact with you, as they just like seem like almost like they're sleepwalking.
Are you okay, soldier?
Galen. Again, not making eye contact.
Yes, this is Galen.
They reach into a side satchel, and they produce a strange looking object. It's a circular. It looks like it's like a metal ring, almost like frisbee in size, right? But not perfect circular. It's a little ovular in shape. The metal has like a bit of a strange sheen to it, though you can't quite make out what that is. And they hold it out before them, but again, they're not looking at your eyes, like looking at your chest, and just kind of like
I'm starting to pick up what's happening here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out and take it because I have a feeling I know what's going on here.
So you take it from them, and then they go, what? They look up at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just seemed a little out but nearly bumped into me. You okay?
Watch where you step. And he's looks at Viggo and says,
"My apologies."
What is it? Battle tactician. And then that was like a bit of a weaker salute, and then walks past you.
As soon as they're sort of like out of earshot, I'm just gonna go to Viggo. 13. I'm pretty sure, at least.
Looking at the thing a little bit closer, you can see that
it's a butt plug.
It's a circle. It's a circle. It's a circle.
Yeah, he's had a lot of butt plug training right now. Okay,
no, it's to like get in there and like grab one that you can't get out and like loop it back at. No, so no, but it's like not small either. It's like a big ovular shape, and like kind of like looking at it in your hands, you can even see that there's a clear crystal on it, like not a colored one, but a clear crystal that's set like east-west. So not like a crystal that would sit up and down like this. It's set sideways on the thing so that you could see it kind of like it's pronounced, but only like when you're actively looking at the thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna. Let's continue to find somewhere to rest. I'm gonna look over this carefully later.
Okay. So you go and make your way over to the barracks so you can sit down and lie down and sleep down. Cool?
Yes.
Pan was following behind, but she was kind of in her own head. She's also very tired. She's in her own head.
Yeah.
And was following behind, and after the guy walks by, she goes, "What was with him?"
Oh, she's known about all the stuff. I'm just gonna 13, the thing that should hopefully stop more assassins coming after me.
I need sleep, she says.
Yes.
Agreed. Maybe that'll be interesting in the morning.
Indeed.
So you guys go to lie down and sleepy, nappy, sleep, nap. A few hours later, will be when Neil approaches. Oh, by the way, did you spend time looking at that thing? Or you just throw it in your pack and deal with it later?
No, I would have spent a little bit of time before I went to sleep, just sort of like looking
just
it over.
Just it a couple times.
Essentially, I would see if, like, because I assume when you attune to stuff, you can feel that you're starting to attune to it.
But that's
he wouldn't spend the whole hour. Oh, that doesn't work in this one. Okay, yeah. That's fine. That I didn't know that, so that's good to know. So I would just spend time looking it over and seeing. I wouldn't want to use my psionics on it until I'm
knowledge
sure.
Psionics?
I have knowledge psionics.
Yeah.
It's not very good, but I have it.
Boom. Like, that's it. Shut down the session. Last roll.
It's a classic test roll.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Neil's like, I remember when that was me.
Sorry, I'll be back to how I was at the start of this game eventually. This luck won't last forever.
So yeah, it's a psi crown. So psi crowns are crowns that as far as you understand, they give you access to abilities that you otherwise wouldn't normally have, and a pool of power points to pull from. Think of like a wand, right, with charges.
Ooh.
But once those power points are gone, the object becomes inert and no longer useful. Sometimes they also have additional other features as well, things that make it so that you have like latent secondary abilities that similarly, once it's out of charges, those secondary abilities go away. And even more so, because you guys are still in the earliest phases of how these items work, because like psionics isn't fully established in this world, right? The way that this one would work is as the charges dissipate, the secondary ability gets weaker and weaker. So eventually, let's say it's a +4. It's not like it's a +4 with 100 charges as it is with one charge. It's like, well, that +4 eventually becomes a +3, eventually becomes a +2, right? So that way, it's not like I'm always going to hold on to that one last charge. Like
Yeah. I get what
degrades
you
as you
mean.
go.
So yeah, it's something you don't want to use the charges willy nilly, but also the if they're needed, you use them.
Correct, but you do also know that with the Psi Crown, that to understand how it works, there's certain like sonic abilities that allow you to identify this sort of stuff which you don't have. You also do know that if you have a clear, stable mind, you can use Psi Craft while wearing it to kind of like, because more or less as soon as it goes onto your head, it like pours knowledge into your brain, right? Like it literally rewrites pathways in your minds to give you access to things you otherwise didn't have. But if you're not careful, there could be things in there that you don't want as well. So
so I got to wait till I got some alone time and not bad situation. I'll sit down and put it on and try and use that stuff.
Yeah, more or less, again, it's not 5e, but more or less like you want like an attuning time just to make sure that you are familiar with what's happening.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but it literally rewrites your psyche. It rewrites. It's like taking mushrooms. You know what I mean? You just like, so, which I've never done, but would love to sometime if I could. I've never done it, but it's legal in 2 cities in Massachusetts.
So I'm definitely not going to do that now.
Or it's decriminalized.
So I'm going to get some sleep. So once I ascertain that, I'm going to put it somewhere very safe.
Psi Crown.
With a bag that's basically on the bed with me. So I notice if someone moves the bag, and then I'm going to lay down to sleep.
Yep. But eventually, potentially, Ash, going that way, one step at a time. So anyway, so you understand this thing fully, and to the full extent of not like you knew nothing about Psi Crowns prior to this. You rolled that well. I gave you the full details of Psi Crowns, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
cool. By the way, they don't work like wands where they're always created with 50 charges. Different crowns come with different numbers of charges, right? So
it is actually like a head thing.
Yep, it's like the sun that actually takes up the headband slot.
Oh, it's okay. See, that actually makes more sense now. I was imagining it being like a plate disc almost, with a solid bit in the middle.
Oh,
I wasn't imagining a band. Now I understand what you meant more with some of your descriptions, and now that makes much more sense. Yes, okay, I got it.
Yeah, if you actually Google really quickly, emerald ring set east-west, like you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Like let me ring set east-west. That should produce an image for you. Yep, it does. So you can see like that'll show you like a stone set into a ring, and east-west means it goes along with the shank as opposed to
so that but like a headband.
You just said
thing.
A gem.
Yep.
An ancient Egyptian god, and Kanye's child.
Fun fact: Set is actually where I get my username from, because there was when I got my username, there was a debate going on about whether it was Seth, Satesh, Satek, and a whole bunch of other things. So I liked the sound of Satesh. So I used that for a while until someone called me just Tesh because I had the space in the middle. I was like, I kind of like that. And so I scrapped the Set and just used Tesh. So that's a thing about how I got my name.
Debranding is a good thing too. Like it simplifies it, right?
Yeah.
It's like when
it was one of those things that I liked the sound of just Tesh, and I felt it was more unique than Satesh, so I cut it off.
Well, it's like Mathis StarCraft eventually just became Mathis.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like removing the StarCraft, it just opens up so much more, you know.
It's like how Scott is one day just going to become Rick.
But yeah, so I understand what it looks like more now. So
it's pretty gay.
I might even at that point. Oh no, I don't want to put it on because that's when all the stuff happens, right?
Correct.
Can I put it on without?
No.
Like accessing it?
Literally, as soon as you put it on, it starts rewriting those neural pathways.
Yeah. Then I would just have it safely with me when in like the bag when I have some sleep.
Cool. So you grab some nom sleeps. So only a few hours later, somebody goes rap tap 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 tapping. Now the way that sleep actually works is you're supposed to get 8 hours of rest, with 6 hours of those being sleep. There can be mild stuff that happens in between, but it can't be anything particularly strenuous, too much travel or too much. So in theory, your sleep has been ruined, including Jake's sleep has not gotten the proper amount of sleep. 8 hours haven't passed.
I've got at least 6 hours sleep.
No, that was not 6 hours.
That was 6 hours.
They didn't research 6 hours.
Yes, they did.
Full 6 hours. You know what we could do? We could do this. We will allow chat
No.
We'll allow chat to roll 3d4 to see
Jake,
if Jake got 6
how
hours.
this works out.
This isn't
is
how
no
many
matter
hours
what
it is, but
one-
if it's effectively 6. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is how it's gonna work out, Jake. One of us is fucked.
You only needed one, right? You only needed one.
No,
hour,
no,
you're
but
right.
he was disrupted for too long in between. Chat, you got to roll 3. Okay, there's a 3. That's a good start. So unless we get 2 1s, we're solid. Who's the next one? Oh, 6. Let's just get that third one there for funsies. Who's the third one? Ash,
This is
maybe?
how well rested you. Oh my
9.
god.
9.
Oh
another
my
3.
god,
Jesus,
look
all
at that.
3s. Wow, crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Beautiful.
All the
Hold on one
I'll
threes.
take that well-rested state. Thank you.
I wish. I would love to actually get some goddamn rest in this game and not be fatigued.
Yeah, I think because everyone rolled 3s, that Scott should. I think Scott should give it to him.
I agree.
This is
Oh, sorry,
Scott
what was that?
networking. Yeah, we've agreed that you've let the boys be well rested.
Yeah, I was letting chat roll for it. I mean, not well rested, but rested.
No, it's
enough.
too late. He agreed. We got it on
But-
camera.
okay, so
he
we're
said
rested
well
enough?
rested.
I-
No collusion.
Oh, hold on.
Rested?
It might be broke. The die might be broken. If it's not a 3,
No.
if it has to be anything but a 3 in the next roll, or we just have to start over because it's broken. Somebody else has to roll, and it has to be in.
No.
We have,
No,
to
no,
start
no.
have to start over. It's broken, boys. It's broken. Oh,
No,
it's ready.
look,
It
it's a
is.
four.
Yeah, I don't
There we
know.
go.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's fine.
I don't know. I don't know. Neil, go ahead. Roll that die again. Go ahead.
See, it's not broken. It's fine.
All right, Jake,
It
you
was
go ahead and
just
roll.
lucky.
Jake, if you roll a 3, I think it's still broken. Look, Viking rolled another 3.
Yeah, there is a 25% chance it's 3, Scott.
No. The chance that every chat roll is a 3. Like, come on. That's nuts. V-Sword, go ahead, roll it. All right.
Yeah, look.
Okay.
See there, look, it was just a string of luck.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
We're tired of your accusations, Scott. In fact, so much so
Chat, stop rolling.
we're offended. We're offended. Us, the players' union, are offended that we're going to take 3 free luck die.
Well,
Thank you.
There's 2 in your pool right now.
Okay, what's 2 plus
so
3,
do we
Scott?
actually get to get rest?
What was that? What was that?
Can I start clearing stuff on my sheet?
Yeah. So you get the rest for the sake of removing fatigue and healing health points.
Thank
However, you don't get the 1 hour of studying afterwards to recollect power points or to add spells. You can do that at any point in time that you have a free hour after this. It doesn't have to.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
but your reset time happened for the sake of sleep. You just didn't get your power up chance yet, right? But you do heal or whatever.
That does that how does let me have to double check how Aegis works, because I'm supposed to do my changes overnight like that. The whole point is overnight I switch my customizations.
It's part of that after you. So almost every class, unless there's something unique for a particular class, the way it works is you requires the amount of rest. Again, the divine casters are different. It requires rest, and then after the rest, it requires a 1 hour of studying or preparation. Divine casters actually don't require sleep at all. They don't need it at all. They just have to pray at a very specific time. So as long as you pray at, say, midnight every day, you're good. It's like a broken thing. So, anyways.
I'm supposed to take the way it seems to work is the 8 hours of the concentration of that whole like rest period is what does the customization. Modifying the customizations points for the 8 hour of concentration they may choose to leave customization points free.
So it says during the 8 hours, because 8 hours didn't pass, you just do that after you have that meditation time, right? Yeah.
Okay,
so
yeah.
we'll just do that afterwards. Cool. All right. So you guys are summoned so Neil approaches the door, and Mora's like, "Hey," and they're like, "Hey, you're the one we've been looking for." Neil.
The field commander is on the way. She would like to speak with the what is it? B-Sen?
Yep.
Sen of War? I don't know.
You're good.
They're all.
It's the Battle Centaurian. You're good. So anyway, so they roll a sense motive. One of the guys is like, "All right, yeah, we'll go get her. Come with so you can deliver the message to the field commander yourself."
And also the Excellent and the BT.
Yeah, you don't believe that they're gonna bring you to the Centurion of War.
That's okay. If you give them the order and they fuck it up, their heads are gonna. It's on their heads.
So like,
Tris will like tap his foot, look at his horse, and say like, "Not going inside right now. Bit busy waiting for the field commander to turn up."
he goes, "Yeah, but at the same time, we got our orders too from the Centurion of War, and since we know she's here, we have no idea if the other one is. You know, come on."
Tell me, soldier. Centurion of War? Does that outrank a field commander?
The present commander outranks the not present commander.
Okay. I just want to get this straight for when the field commander turns up. Are you aware of what the
Oh boy,
repercussions are for not
this is the
following
one that gave that
orders?
speech earlier, right? He shakes his head. He goes, you realize you got that that officer all locked up? Like you talk.
Why did he get?
For not following orders. Like literally is in the brig right now for not following orders. That shit ain't happening to me. Now let's go.
I'll speak to the field commander when she arrives.
He's like, fuck, I don't want to do this. He draws his sword out, and the one that's next to him draws his sword out as well. And he goes, don't make this messy. We're supposed to be on the same side, right?
Soldiers.
He's like, yeah, soldier, keep your head on you.
What their ranks?
What are the lower ranks? So we're talking about Legionnaire, Superior, those kind of lower ranks.
Legionnaire, LS. A champion is giving you an order to go and find your commanding officer.
Yeah, but her order has already superseded yours. Fuck. He calls out to the beyond and says, help! We got one! Kind of calls out, and there's the groups of like 4x4s, the 2x2s everywhere. And so you can imagine moments later, one will come within view. They're not like instantly teleporting behind you. Comes within view. What do you say or do as the two of them are squaring off and spreading out a little?
Don't fight.
No.
Okay.
Tris will mount, and he will say, your field commander is on the way. I've been given strict instructions that people are to be ready for her arrival. Will you follow the rules of your field commander?
He looks over at the other one and goes, he is the loudmouth. And I guess initiative, because they're literally going to attack you. Because they give you a very simple, and you're going against it, unfortunately. Asinine as it might be. One of those orders is orders, friend. They only have a 1 modifier. Same here. And for the group, says that's the group in front of you and the group behind you, right? So the group in front of you will go first, the group behind you will go second, and we can deal with other groups as time goes if need be. So he's like one of those, like, as he is the loudmouth or whatever he said before, right? And unfortunately, so you had gone to climb up onto your horse. They didn't stop you or attack you or anything while you were doing that. But there is one of those like rolling of the eyes as you did so. Then you said your words, and they rolled their eyes again as he gave his response, and they will attack you. There you go. So he rushes forward to attack you. This is the first guy. I'll do the second one in a second. Horrible chance to hit. Next one goes to attack you. I don't even know if a 17 hits you.
No, not even close.
So it's one of those, the first guy goes to attack you, but I imagine like as he goes to swing the sword, you literally use your boot and you kick back the hand. And the second one goes to thrust forward with their sword. And again, because you're not armed right now, you got your armor on though. You just kind of like smack that weapon aside with your forearm. So you kind of like boot back one and swat away the other one as they attack. And then it's your turn.
Triss won't draw his weapon. He'll pull his shield out and he'll take the full defense action.
Okay. The other group will come rushing up, and they'll attack at you as well. This kind of has you, because the way that hexes work, squares work, you have not 3, 6, 8 around you. You have, I think, 10 or 12 spots around you because you're large size now, right? So you have 6 people around you, and now they're starting to flank. So everybody at this point is going to get a +7 instead of a +5, but your AC also went up by 2 or 3 anyways. So it's effectively the same odds. Miss. A 24. I don't know if a 24 hits you.
It depends. No, I don't think it will. How much is full defense?
Plus
Gives you
4.
a +2. +2.
No. Full defense is +4.
Is it?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. And then if you have a bunch of ranks in acrobatics, it's a +6. Hey, Viking.
Oh, okay. I mean, if it's a +4, sure. I won't comply.
Yep.
Oh, it is true. That's good to know for my sake, because I have ranks in acrobatics.
So sir, you 24 hit you?
Nothing hits.
Yeah, 2 years. So nothing hits. So boom, 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 like blocking with the shield, whatnot. And then even if they did, I know you have mounted combat. That gets back to the top of initiative. These boys are going to attack you as well before it gets back to you, and you can choose to do what you want to do. 22 obviously won't hit you either. Ooh, ah. You can hear my excitement in real time as that rolled. Oh, that was painful. Ooh. Anyways, a bunch of misses, and it comes back to your turn, sir. What do you do?
Full defense.
Maintain it? Okay. Then allow me to attack you 4 more times, and then we'll get to the next bit. As 4 more attacks are stopped, and another group of 4 soldiers here in the thing kind of comes in and starts rushing over to join, making so now you're not surrounded by 6 but by 10 soldiers, and another group of 4 starts to show up as well. Let me just roll initiative really quickly. I'll add it this way. Then 1 is top of initiative, and then we go like this. So unfortunately, as we finish that out, I also have to do this right here. Give me 1. Where are you? I use this mini here. That's fine. I'll do descending. Okay, cool. So I do apologize. You're just going to have to grip on for 1 more second as I'm finishing out these turns, right? So this is the second group of 4 that showed up and the group of 2 that was there originally. So I'm making 6 more attacks before I have the next thing happen as you continue to maintain your full defense against these people, hoping that that holds true. Ready? So let's finish this up, and hopefully you don't even take a scratch. A 19, nope. Oof, 1. Hey, does a 26 hit?
No.
What's your AC? Jesus.
27.
Oh my God, I hate you. I have to roll a 20.
You literally have to nat it, yeah.
And even then, you can just roll a ride check. That's funny. So as 6 more attacks...
Ride check. I don't know whether that will work unless they're targeting Karok.
No. If they're targeting you, you can make a ride... Oh, wait. I don't remember now. It might be if they're targeting Karok. You're right.
When your mount is hitting combat.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good point. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so they attack a bunch more times, and all the attacks continue to miss as finally the field commander comes in and just gives the command immediately. Stand down! And it takes like a couple seconds as people like realize that. Stand down now! And when they look over and they see like her banner, and they see her sitting there, and they realize that there's fucking 10 of them, did I just say? And like 4 more rushing over to make 14 total around you. And she gives this command. They all stop. And they stop attacking. And I imagine that Tristan, that wasn't easy. That was like, 20 seconds
He's panting and covered in sweat. And Karok is like foaming at the mouth. His eyes are rolling. Like Karok, he had to fight that entire time probably to get Karok not to bolt, bite, kick, stamp.
Yep.
Otherwise murder these people,
She says, all of you that are not mounted, stand to the side and throw down your arms. There's a couple seconds. She says, it will not be commanded again. And then they all go over there and just kind of like throw their swords into a pile. And at that point in time, a couple of her guards, she kind of gives like a head gesture. A couple of the guards go over there and start giving commands for them all to like get down and to like kneel and what have you. And then others that are coming into the snout are like rushing in because they hear what's going on. They look and they see that, and she'll just kind of look to them and say, join them. And looks to the one that you jumped over beforehand and say, handle this. And she takes only one other of her soldiers with her. Sorry, two of her other soldiers with her as she finishes riding up to like near where you are. And she will dismount. I imagine you do so in kind.
Yep. And pat Garrett.
Yep. She'll look at you and say, trouble.
Sorry, I wasn't able to deliver the message.
She nods and says, the apologies are for you. It was a test. They failed. She will then stop and regard Carrick and say, it's a damn fine steed. And then we'll turn.
Just legitimately smile at that.
She'll turn and go to the door and command that it be opened, and it does. And at this point in time, we are going to stop because I have to pee. And I have an interview in about 28 minutes, and nerves are hitting me. So I need to go and let those flow through me.
Pee them out.
Yeah, pee out those nerves and go get myself into the right mindset to be, as opposed to when I'm DMing, be charming and professional. So, Tesh is muted, so I'm sure it was important words.
No, I'm muted. I was going to say, just before you go, I want to point out, because I forgot to take my meds earlier, this is my diabetes meds that I have to take every single day. And look how fucking gigantic these things are.
Yeah, it's not a small pill. Unless you have like hobbit hands. If you have hobbit hands.
How can I, what's something I can do?
You need a banana for scale, actually. That's the only acceptable.
Yep. Okay. It's the a Wii controller. I get it. Okay. Cool.
No, it's pretty fucking big, and I always just opened it up then and was just like, holy fuck, okay.
Well, we're gonna head out, and then tomorrow we can finally hopefully finish up this whole kerfuffle. Next week. Finish up
tomorrow.
This
we're 4 more years. We're back tomorrow, guys.
I have to pee, as I said.
Good luck, Scott. You got this.
Thanks. And then we'll see if I can get a second interview. The whole thing is if you can get to a second one, then things are easy. But if you're stonewalled at the first one, because you obviously heard about the email situation, if I can get to a second one, then I think I breached through. And then it's all on my own merit. But if I can't get to the second one, then it's what have you.
I heard you really need to push to get to the point where you're breaching, actually.
Yeah. Oh, well.
That was a pregnancy birth joke.
Did I raid too soon?
Yeah, you raided
ages ago.
Oh,
we're gone.
You raided like instantly, yeah.
Oh, well, this is still showed on YouTube, so there we go.
Oh, no. My childbirth joke.
Bye, YouTube.